Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And for today, for Tuesday morning, I thought we'd take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the book of the Acts of the Apostles. It's one of the lessons that's assigned for evening prayer, and we are getting close to the end of the story of Acts of the Apostles. We figure out with today's reading how it is that Paul is going to end up in Rome, where he'll end up witnessing to the good news of God and Jesus Christ in what is known as the Eternal City. So we're in chapter 26, beginning at verse 24. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doth make thee mad. But he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth with words of truth and soberness. For the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him, for this thing was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. And Paul said, I would to God that thou, not only thou, but also all that hear me this day, were both almost and altogether such as I am, except for these bonds. And when he had thus spoken, the king rose up, and the governor, and Bernice, and they that sat with them. And when they were gone aside, they talked between themselves, saying, This man doeth nothing worthy of death or bonds. Then said Agrippa unto Festus, This man might have been set at liberty, if he had not appealed to Caesar. And when it was determined that they should sail unto Italy, they delivered Paul and certain other prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augustus's band. And entering the ship that we launched, meaning to sail by the coast of Asia, and so on. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, because that's the important part. The important part here is that we hear that Paul is making this powerful witness, which ultimately is going to have to do with an appeal to Rome, right? Remember that Paul was grabbed. The authorities, the Jewish authorities, tried to bring him up on charges. And just like Jesus Christ, who himself was brought up by the leaders of the Jewish religion to Roman authorities to put him to death and brought all sorts of accusations against him. And remember, the Roman authorities, they don't care about these sort of cultural or religious issues, right? As long as you're not inciting a riot or preventing people from paying their taxes or trying to overthrow the government, they don't care about these religious controversies. But obviously, this is causing such a chaos that Paul himself, because he is a Roman citizen, Paul's a citizen of Rome, he's made an appeal to Caesar. And because he's appealed to a higher court, they're kind of bound to do it. So they've done the cursory hearing of the charges at this local level. And in fact, Paul is so persuasive that he almost gets these people, who the authorities, to actually not only acquit him of the charges, but also to have him released. But because he's appealed, not released, but become Christians. And Paul, of course, says, would that you were just like me, except for these bonds, right? You should be a member of the body of Christ. That should be our hope for all of our friends. And so it is that off he goes. They sail. They send him on a sailing ship to go to Rome, where he will witness about the truth of God and Jesus Christ, even unto his own death. So anyway, so that's our look for today. You can hear I'm out on my front porch, and traffic's already moving around. The cicadas are already busy, which is interesting. But anyway, today is Tuesday. We do have our Holy Communion service at 12:15, and hopefully you'll be able to join us in person or watch it on the live stream where you are watching this particular morning meditation. And may your Tuesday be a day that is full of